Hi, my dearies and my dudes. Thank you so much for joining me for my first recorded Just a Reflective Thoughts. Please leave your feedback, whether you agree with me or not. I would be more than welcome to open the door to intelligent discourse about different subjects that I'll post here. And please share the video. This particular one is in light of the Travoyn Martin tragedy that has occurred. Trust me when I tell you it's not going to be all the other stuff that you've been hearing. So don't press stop. Just give me about 8 minutes and listen up. My nephew was browsing through his Facebook friend statuses on Sunday and shared one with me that we both quickly concluded was one of the dumbest things that either of us has ever read, at least to date this year. The status said, and I quote, "Dick Cheney gets a new heart, but Travoyn Martin loses his life." Yeah, I still can't get that one. And what really got to me too, or another thing that got to me, is that there were so many people liking this status. So, as you know, everybody on Facebook and Twitter and what other social media venue has expressed what they were going to express about the situation. And yes, I do have my thoughts on the situation, but I just had chosen to just step back and listen in on what everyone else was choosing to express. And boy, are there copious commentaries from various perspectives on the situation. And as I said, I'd chosen to just kind of listen in on what everyone else was saying. But the quote that I just shared with you, it made me not only shake my head, but it made me want to take my head off and just like put it off to the side somewhere, because I was having a difficult time, and still am having a difficult time processing the ignorance behind such a comment. And I promise to get back to that quote, but let me just go ahead and take the time here to share with you a couple of my thoughts on the situation. I'm deeply saddened more than anything that parents and other loved ones have to memorialize their son or loved one, particularly for what seems to be an unjustified reason. Racists or not, I feel for a family who will forever be branded with the scarlet letter of sorts because of the actions of their son or loved one. I'm saddened by the fact that in the year 2012, I still live in a world where race becomes the focus of attention, rather than the fact that whatever ills that have happened did so to a human by another human. I am almost positive that it's safe to say Travoyn Martin's mother would not feel better if her young son's life had been snatched by another member of the brown diaspora instead of a melanin deficient person. Her pain, it has no race. Yes, I'm aware of the injustices because of racial inequality, and yes, it saddens and angers me too that it is still allowed to be a part of a world and time that we live in. I in no way intend to convey that the issues of racial inequalities do not warrant attention to a high degree. But I'm convinced that aside from a divine intervention, the only hope for ending injustices suffered due to racial inequality is if I and my Caucasian dearies and dudes, my Indian dearies and dudes, my brown, I promised my 6-year-old that I would stop saying black after she, with intense aggravation in her voice, asked, "Why do you keep saying that? Our skin is brown, it is not black." Dearies and dudes, my Filipino dearies and dudes, my Bahraini dearies and dudes, my Japanese dearies and dudes, all dearies and dudes all over the world would teach our progeny to make laws and sign petitions that express wrong being wrong, no matter what ethnic background the victim or accused comes from. That when a member of one racial background commits an ill towards a member of different racial background, that it cannot be allowed to become a racial war because all of society is affected. We need to teach our children that it must be a fight for the rights and protection of a member of the human race, not brown, white, or other, who has been violated. That it must be a fight for justice to be brought to the member of the human race, not brown, white, or other, who has committed the violation. Yes, our Creator created us with different ethnicities, colors of skin, accents, textures of hair, traditions within our cultures. But with each of these differences, God gave us the same internal organs to function in the same way, with the same colored blood flowing through our veins. There is no way then that I can be convinced that, as I interpreted the quote I shared with you earlier to mean, and in case you've forgotten that quote by now, let me restate it for you here now. It said, Dick Cheney gets a new heart, but Travoyn Martin loses his life. Back to what I was saying. I cannot, nor will I be convinced that it is okay for one man, because he is Caucasian, to not receive a heart and die because a young brown man's life was taken by the actions of a totally different Caucasian man. Neither am I convinced that quotes like the one that I've just shared with you a few seconds or so ago serve any purpose to obtain what it seems most people are claiming to want: justice for Travoyn Martin. So when you decide to dress your young son in hoodies and pose him for pictures like the one I've seen floating around Facebook, make sure you're teaching them to truly understand the message you're attempting to convey. Dare I say, ask yourself, what actual good would a picture like this do anyway? So what exactly is my point? Instead of bringing more ignorant division amongst our communities because you are angry that a life of a brown person was taken at the hands of a white person who has not been brought to justice, unite with all members of your community because you are angry that the life of a human was taken at the hands of another human who has not been brought to justice. As Don Marquis has been quoted, the chief obstacle to the progress of the human race is indeed the human race. Thanks again, my dearies and dudes, for joining me, and please remember to leave some feedback for me. Let me know if you like it, or if you don't, let me know that too, and please share the video. Oh, and one other thing before I go, remember to enjoy at least one thing about your day. Peace out.